Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC, and today I will be reviewing the slightly redesigned Battalion Chameleon. If you're interested in this board or any other of the products that I mention here, go ahead and be sure to click those affiliate links down below in the description, and that way you don't have to go searching the internet yourself for it. The Chameleon is equipped with a medium traditional camber with high 3BT in the nose and a medium 3BT in the tail with side kick as well. So what that's gonna do is that medium traditional camber is gonna give you that pop, precision, and power that you're looking for. With that high 3BT in the nose is gonna give you that ease of entry in and out of turns, also gonna help a shit ton with float, and that medium in the tail is going to help with its sinking and also ease of entry in and out of turns. This board is offered in a 149, 153, 157, and a 161. I rode this board at Copper Mountain where we got about 8 to 10 inches of snow the day before. They ended up grooming the center of runs, so we had perfect groomers there. They left the sides pretty much untouched, so there was up to knee-deep powder on the sides of the runs, which made it amazing. The trees were totally untouched all day. It was pretty much like they had an invisible rope up to keep everybody else out of there, and we just got fresh laps in the trees the whole day, which was amazing. But it was a beautiful sunny day. It was that type of day that you had a great snowfall. Wind blew everything out of there and it was just beautiful and sunny. I did use my Ride Fuse boots and my Jones Mercury Phase bindings. When we're talking overall flex on this board, I would say it's slightly stiffer than the middle of the road, but it does have that directional flex to it, where this nose feels quite a bit softer than the middle does, and the tail feels a little bit stiffer than the actual middle there. When you are torsionally foot steering this thing, it feels about like the overall flex of the board, where it's not too hard to foot steer it, so don't expect to have to throw a whole bunch of weight into it to get it to twist around on you. Going back to the nose, since it is softer, it definitely wants to flex a little behind that contact point there, pretty much where the side kick meets the actual just flat edge. But overall, stability wise, it is on the damper side, I will say. Unlike a lot of the other Battalion boards I've ridden, this one definitely absorbs chatter extremely well. I didn't think it was gonna hold up quite as well on the groomers as it did, where for a powder board, this thing carves really well on groomers, where it didn't really feel like it had a top speed. You could just charge straight ahead and not have to worry about this nose getting bucked around or sending crazy vibrations through your legs or anything like that. But overall, it was good. I will say the one problem I did have with it, when I was trying to traverse across very steep terrain, I could feel this nose really wanting to like push me down and just drop in. So I kind of had to keep that weight and that pressure a little bit more towards my back foot just to keep it so it would traverse across and not try to just lose its edge on me. I actually thought this board ollied extremely well, where instead of it feeling more like the whatever, it felt more like the Beyond Metals, where even though it did have that medium 3BT in the tail, it didn't feel that way. It felt a little bit more precise, where I could actually take off and pop from the edges here and not have any problem with it feeling washy, where it felt a little bit more controlled. And honestly, I didn't expect that from it being a powder board. I was like, you know what, they're gonna kind of keep it a little bit looser in the tail, let that thing sink in the snow. That is not the case. This thing actually does have a really good pop to it. And when you're landing, even if you're landing in fresh powder, it is super stable. It didn't want to dive on me toe side or heel side. It just wanted to stay nice and flat on those landings. So if you decide to just boot it off of any drops or anything like that, no, you don't really have to lean all the way back like you traditionally would for a regular snowboard. You can just kind of land a little more bolt and have that nose just kind of ramp you up and not have to worry about it. If you're enjoying this video, or if you're not enjoying this video, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications just so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. Butterability. When you're buttering on the nose, you have this giant surface to work with. And since it is softer, you really don't have to work that hard to get this thing to butter on it. You can just really pretty much slide your weight right even by this contact point, and that's where it wants to flex, and you don't have to work hard. Don't expect to pop out on it, but since it is super catch free, you don't have to worry about it. If you just get a little lazy on your butters and slide it around, you shouldn't catch with it. Now when you're buttering the tail, it's a little bit different of a story. You're gonna be working a little bit harder there, but still nothing too crazy where you just throw your weight over the sizing here and where the logo is, and you're gonna be totally fine. Expect to pop out on the tail, but it's not gonna be as catch free. So, you know, a little give and take there, but overall it does press and butter really well. So I wouldn't worry about it, especially in fresh powder. Start nose buttering on this thing. It's amazing. It's so much fun. As I mentioned before, this board actually holds up really well on groomers where you can hit any carve on it, on a fresh groomer or fresh pow or in the trees. It doesn't really matter. This thing will handle all of them. And especially when you are in the trees on those short, quick carves, this thing's really easy to get on edge, so you don't have to worry about it too much. The nose always wants to float, so even if you are like taking your time getting through the trees, it still wants to stay above the snow there. So I really wouldn't worry about that too much. When you are on the groomers and you're taking those medium and larger carves, I will say, because of the 3BT, it definitely has that point to it where you think you're on edge, but you can still roll over more on it and even get a little bit more of a turn out of it. And normally when you do that, something wants to fold on you, or it just doesn't hold up as well when you're trying to ride that true contact point. On this board, I didn't really feel it. I just had to know that I could trust it and it would hold for me, no problem. It will Euro carve. Make sure it's either on like that smoother groomer or some fresh pow, but overall, it will do it. It will carve, hit them all for you in really any condition where I didn't have a problem with it. Rider in mind. This board is made for somebody either that just needs a POW board or they're not the first person at the mountain every day on a POW day. And when I say that, I mean, they're probably getting up there a little late. They probably have to fight some I-70 traffic, or it's even the day after and they still want to just find all those POW stashes where they're still going to ride some groomers with it. But for the most part, they're trying to find POW, get in the trees, that sort of thing. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Well, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. This is one of my favorite battalion boards. It really gave the Beyond Metals a run for its money, where I'm like, I don't know which one I actually like better, but awesome job, honestly. Like, I see why Averin liked it so much last year, and this is why I like it so much this year, as you guys have seen from this review. It's just a super fun board that will actually do everything. Doesn't do everything perfectly, but honestly, for a POW board, it carves really well. It's got really good pop to it. And I do like what they've done with the tiny little split in the tail, so you can ride it, switch a little bit more confidently and not really have to worry about it. I also think it stiffens up the tail just a little bit, gives it a little bit more pop, which I absolutely love. Comparable boards, the Capita Navigator, the Rome Ravine, and the Rossignol/Emi. Recommended bindings, the Battalion Astro ASIM, the Union Force, and the Salomon Highlander. As always, guys, I've been your host, TC, and this has been my review of the Battalion Chameleon. I don't know, you should just click one of the links down below for the next video.